Hi, my name is Malcolm L. Dyer. I currently do security at an international airport. I've only been doing this for 6 months, and this course and this project couldn't have come at a better time. My communication skills are good, but they need improving. And it has become very apparent working at an international airport. I am now dealing with people from different cultures, different traditions, different ways of communicating. And there are barriers that did not exist before and barriers that did exist but have become more pronounced. So, over the next 14 slides on the PowerPoint presentation and in this video presentation combined, I am going to go over my overarching goal, my master goal. My master goal is to communicate positive, to have positive effects without the negative effects. My nonverbal communication has become even more important. People from different cultures, from different parts of the world, some hug, some may kiss, and some may want to shake your hand. Eye contact. Some cultures encourage eye contact, some discourage eye contact. Um, the tone of your voice. If you speak loud, soft, fast, slow, all of these things have come into play that were not so important before. One of the issues that I have is I am considered a great communicator by others and by myself. And so I tend to think that if there is a problem in communicating, it's the other person's problem and not mine. Another issue is that many of my conversations are rehearsed. I already have it played out in my head how it's going to go, what I'm going to say, what you're going to say in response to that, and how I'm going to respond to that. And if it's a debate, I have my rebuttals already laid out. That's not working anymore. Definitely. One of the things I want to do is create a smooth and enjoyable conversation where everybody walks away with something positive, effective communication. Overarching goals continued. Peterson, in Why Don't We Listen Better, mentions the talker listener card, where the person who has the problem is the one who's talking, and they're supposed to talk without accusing, whereas the listener is supposed to listen without judging. I am, as the listener, to listen to a customer's complaint, a tourist complaint, issue, problem, and try to come up with a solution without creating any negative effects. So they walk away with a smile on their face, and it was a positive interaction from beginning to end. Up next, overarching goal continued. Stewart and Bridges Not Walls mentioned inhaling and exhaling, and actually mentioned that when you breathe, you have to inhale and exhale, or you'll pass out. Same thing with conversations, is you need to inhale and exhale. When speaking, you are exhaling. And when you're listening, you're inhaling. And looking at my history, I tend to exhale way more than I inhale. I dominate conversations. I am an ENTP, I'm an extrovert. I love to talk. I love the sound of my own voice. And I do consider myself very intelligent, and so that plays in to my conversations, which are rehearsed, and I'm trying to fix that. Behavioral blend and background. Uniquely you, when I did this assessment, showed me as overall a CDI, and how others see me as a CI. So that's the first graph. The second graph is the CDI. How others see me is that I am well spoken, I am a leader. How I see myself is the same, but I'm dominant. I will control the conversation from the beginning to the end, which leads into how people see me. They see me as a well spoken, intelligent person who's very confident and is a natural leader. That's positive effect. But the negative effect is that I can leave people feeling incompetent. I might even suggest it. I may make them feel like they did something wrong, that they're not as smart as me, if something isn't as painfully obvious to them as it is to me. And this comes out in my conversation directly and indirectly with my facial expressions, my body language, meta messaging, reading between the lines. Sometimes I'm good at hiding, and sometimes I'm just very blatant, just come right out. And that has been an issue, which has been addressed, and I have been working on that and improving upon that. Uniquely overconfident. The goal is the same and will be throughout. Positive effects of communication without the negative effects. In normal conversation, there's always a chance for me to reach my goal, but sometimes I overreach, overextend myself, as if someone's driving a car and they're going around a turn too fast and they overcorrect and make the situation worse. That has been a problem with me. It's overcorrecting. Because in overcorrecting, that means I'm speaking, I'm exhaling, I'm not inhaling, I'm not listening. And there would never be positive effects or effects one way or the other if I dominate the conversation. Because once again, if I'm dominating, I've rehearsed it, I already know what I'm going to say. I'm predicting what you're going to say, and that's not good, because then I'm not listening, and that's not effective communication on any level. Queendom self-assessment. I did 2 self-assessments, one on arguing style and one on insightfulness. Now, the fact that I received 100% on insightfulness but 80% on arguing shows something, well, at least to me, obvious, is that I like to argue. But being insightful, I know that I can control it for a positive end, but sometimes I just simply choose not to do so. I like the sound of my own voice. And if given the opportunity to talk, I will do so non-stop. And that turns people off. That creates the negative effect that I am trying desperately to avoid. Communication barriers. Aside from exhaling way too often, dominating the conversation, I am also guilty of the flat brain syndrome mentioned by Peterson. My posture. If the conversation goes south in a negative way, I become excited, I become angry. My body posture shows that. I also have avowed identity, which is how I see myself. I see myself as a confident, well-spoken, intellectual leader, and others see me in that way, which is ascribed identity. But working at an international airport, coming across hundreds and hundreds, if not thousands and thousands of people who don't know me and do not see it the same way, they do not support that, and that can be a crush to the ego. Resources and strategies. Self-disclosure. Through self-disclosure, I keep myself more honest and keep my eyes on the prize, which is positive communication without negative effects. If I do self-disclosure, people see what's coming in advance and we can work on it together. So the action plan, no more rehearsed conversations, no more inhaling, or exhaling, sorry. More inhaling, less exhaling, meta messaging, avowed identities, action plan continued. As Collins mentioned, that in her article, communication means to share, to be analytical, self-reflective. And in conclusion, by utilizing these methods mentioned by Kendricks from Fireproof, Peterson, Why Don't We Listen Better, France and Winkel, Human Service Workers, Stewart, Bridges Not Walls, Uniquely You, Queendom Assets, I feel that I will achieve my goal successfully. Thank you.